नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कथिता पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी।
Om Swamiji.
Om, welcome.
So the word tu.
Yeah, the word tu.
Tu distinguishes this knowledge as immediate. Tu indicates that he is distinguishing the topic. He is now introducing from the one he has just discussed.
One minute, so excuse me, Swamiji. This before he has talked about two. We read about this two before. That context it meant also. Am I correct? Do you remember?
No, whereas generally the
Whereas
is the meaning. And what he says is contextually is generally it is a sort of a very distinctly different viewpoint. Only then the word tu is used as a paribhasha, Vedanta paribhasha. When tu is used, you have to be very attentive because an opposite viewpoint or a very distinguishing viewpoint is going to be presented. That is why that the conjunction tu is mentioned. That is what he wants to say. It's a distinguishing the knowledge as immediate. In the sense, we have discussed this before also. All knowledge, epistemologically, all knowledge, even direct knowledge we say, pratyaksham knowledge, is wanting. In the sense, Swamiji always used to say, when you see the front of the Bhagavan, the back is not seen.
No, I don't understand.
If the front of the Bhagavan is seen, the back of the Bhagavan is not seen.
Yes.
Even though you may say pratyaksham. That is why we go circumambulating. And we apologize. Sorry Bhagavan, I don't have the capacity to see you in full. That is why we go round and round.
Okay.
That means our pratyaksha is only half knowledge. Always. Whatever be the pratyaksha. Even though we call it direct knowledge. Whereas the only knowledge, that is why he calls it immediate knowledge. Immediate means only you can know yourself complete. Only a flower can know flower complete.
Yes.
Whatever be the greatest scientist cannot know the flower complete. With all his bio knowledge and all that. So that is why epistemologically what it says is the only knowledge that is satyam, abhaditam satyam, true knowledge is only self or conscious being, consciousness. Everything else is subject to negation or improvement. So that is what he is mentioning. So the word tu distinguishes this knowledge as immediate. What you are going to know, what you are discussing as Atma Vidya, Atma Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam. Brahma Jnanam also is basically, even though Brahma means total, entirely, complete, big. Fortunately, the Brahma Jnanam happens to be Atma Jnanam, so you can say Brahma Jnanam also is complete. Whereas what you really can understand is only Atma Jnanam, the self, the knowledge of your own. And it is very logical also, only you can know yourself complete. Even empirically we say, nobody knows me better than I. But the fallacy is even you don't know yourself in terms of what you are telling, like in terms of your body, mind and all that, you don't know exactly what is happening there. Because they are not you. You think that it is you. Whereas it's all following a certain niyati. Your samskara, you don't know exactly what is there in your samskara. At any point in time, you don't know why you get a particular thought. Suddenly something comes. If it is good, it's okay. If it is bad, you curse yourself. Why I did get the thought? Why did I get this thought of a thought? I should not. It is your own thought. But you don't hold yourself responsible for that. Why? Because it is not you. As simple as that. But we don't recognize. We think that everything that happens within this body mind is I. It is not so. Whereas the real immediate knowledge, the I which you are talking, the whole context of whole Gita and here also the Raja Gukyam is the immediate knowledge that is your true self, the being, the awareful being. There is no avayava, no qualities, no time, no space. That is the only immediate knowledge. If you recognize and be with it, that is the most satisfying knowledge. That is the most immediate knowledge. That is what is contextually is talking about and distinguishing it by the word tu. That's what he says, yeah.
Tu indicates that he is distinguishing the topic he is now introducing from the one he has just discussed. Brahmaloka Prapti and the subsequent gain of knowledge, Krama Mukti. To distinguish that kind of accomplishment from this, he uses the word tu. The distinction being that the knowledge he is unfolding here is to be gained right now and not later. If you are already Brahman, why should you wait to go to Brahmaloka to know that? The vision of the Gita is that you are Brahman. You are Brahman, and once you know it, you are free. Everyone wants to be free. If you claim to be interested in something else, you are only confused about what you really want. This confusion has to be resolved so that you can understand right now that you are Brahman. You are already Brahman, and that is exactly what you want to be. In the vision of the Shastra, you are totally acceptable. If you think that you are not, it is a mistake, and to correct it, knowledge is necessary. If you are already Brahman, postponement of gaining this knowledge is silly. It is like a rich person who wants to be rich, not knowing that he has great wealth. To be rich, he has only to know that he is rich. Anything else postpones it. Between who he wants to be and who he is, the ideal and the actual, what is the distance? There is no physical distance, nor is there any temporal distance. He will not become rich later. He is already rich. Nor is the rich person away from him. The only thing separating him from being rich is ignorance. It has to be removed. Right now, you are Brahman. Why should you postpone knowing that by making efforts to go to Brahmaloka and gain this knowledge there? If you want to do a few things here, like making some money, etc., my question would be, why do you want that money? If you say it is for some security, some happiness, I say that is exactly Brahman is. What Brahman is? You first discover that you are secure and happy, and you can also earn money happily. Otherwise, after earning money, you will discover that you are still unhappy. Solve the problem of being unhappy and then happily do whatever you want. You need to solve this problem first and understand that you are Brahman. You are what you are seeking. This is the significance of the word tu. It distinguishes the knowledge, this knowledge, that Bhagavan is now going to talk about as something to be gained right now. Shankara explains that clear knowledge is the only means for immediate liberation. It is simple knowledge. There is no experience involved here, no particular condition to be achieved. He quotes a number of Shrutis and Smritis to describe the knowledge distinguished by the word tu. Knowledge that is the direct means for freedom. Sakshat moksha prapti sadhana. It was said earlier, Vasudevaha sarvam iti. All that is here is nothing but Vasudeva, the Lord. Gita 7.19.
Yeah, earlier we have discussed this earlier, yeah.
This entire creation is non-separate from the Lord. Since nothing is separate from the Lord, you are the Lord. You are the total. This knowledge liberates you. Vasudevaha sarvam is not a belief. It is knowledge, a fact to be understood.
You will see that verse if you want, 7.19. Just have a look at it.
Okay, 1 minute. Bakunam janmanamante
7 point, correct.
Yeah, correct.
Jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sadurlabhaha.
Yeah, so there, Mam Vasudevam. See, we talked about this. Prapatti, prapadyate, it comes now. Prapatti is surrender. Like typical Vishnu, in Vishnu Sampradaya, it is there. Prapatti is surrender. We have told what is surrender, what you can surrender, only ignorance you can surrender, everything else is given to you. It is not yours. you can surrender only what is yours. Everything is given to you, and only you are what. Everything is given to you, meaning, as I was telling, given to you meaning you are other than what is given. Right? By simple English, everything is given to you, meaning you are other than what is given. So that means all your body, mind, senses, everything, all your vyavahara, infrastructure, everything is given to you. So what is pending is only you. If you don't know that surrender, that you don't know that ignorance, if you surrender, automatically you remain. So that is the meaning of property. Other property is not possible as long as you are as an individual standing away. So that is what is the significance of that statement. Mam Vasudevam Prapadyate means only Mam, like I understand that everything other than me is what is given to me. What I have is the ignorance of the what I am. Everything is given to me is what I am is separate. That ignorance is there for me. That ignorance, if I surrender, I obtain automatically. That is the significance of the word Prapadyate in that verse 7.19. That is what he is highlighting. That is why he says Vasudeva Sarvamiti. All that is here, nothing but Vasudeva, the Lord. The Lord, in the sense, Lord, what he means is, the Lord and you are one and the same. Everything is given meaning, all that is distinguishable, like by name and form, your body, mind, senses, Pancha Bhuta, Pancha Pramana, all the Vyavahara, whatever you are doing, everything can be distinguished by name and form. And that is all given. So what is pending is the Ishvara Surupam and your Surupam. The identity of it, because they don't have a form and name. They are just formless, nameless, timeless, spaceless, objectless. It is not, it is just the being. So that is the only thing which you have to understand. That is the Mam Vasudevam Prapadyate. By understanding, by surrendering the ignorance. Here also he says, you have to only surrender the ignorance. That is why he compares that with that. Yeah.
You also said Namaha and Namaha.
Exactly, Namaha. Namama is Namaha.
Prabhati, Namaha is Sharanagati.
Yeah, Namaha is to unto you, Tiruvadi. Namama is surrendering. Nothing is mine. Because that is a fact, that is a reality. So that is pure. That Namaha is a very, Swamiji had given a, what do you call, public talk for 6-7 days on only the word Namaha. The topic was only Namaha. Long back, in Kamaraj Kalayarangam or Shanmugananda Hall, I don't know exactly. Because one word, Namaha is the topic. So that is the greatness of that word. Yeah.
Many children will, in the young age, when you teach sloka, you will say Namaha and they will say Namama, like that. I've seen young children until they grow.
Namama is perfectly alright actually. Namama is Namaha, yeah.
Yeah.
That whole problem of Arjuna is Aham Mama Buddhi. He looks at the whole thing as me and mine. My people I cannot kill. Problem is he doesn't have neither you, me and mine both are misunderstood. So that is the whole Tatpurya of the Shastra of Gita. Yeah.
This entire creation is non-separate from the Lord. Since nothing is separate from that Lord, you are the Lord. You are the total. This knowledge liberates you. Vasudevaha Sarvam is not a belief, it is knowledge, a fact to be understood. The Chandogya Upanishad says, Atmaiva idam sarvam. This is Atma, yourself. Chandogya Upanishad 7:25-2.
7.
He is quoting that Atmaiva idam sarvam. Atmaiva idam sarvam, that is that Sarvajnaha. See, generally they say Sarvajnaha. Then Ishvara is called Sarvajnaha. Okay? That how can that Sarvajnaha, one who knows all knowledge, and how can that Sarvajnaha and Atmajnaha can be one and the same? One person who knows oneself, the being, and Sarvajnaha, the Ishvara, how can it be one and the same? That is because the Sarvam is Kalpita. Sarvajnaha, it is actually not Sarvajnaha, Sarvam, Sarva Kalpitaha Nyaha. The Kalpita, the word, it is called, Swamiji used to say, Madhyama Pada Lopa Samasa, meaning one particular word is missing in that. Sarvajnaha is actually Sarva Kalpitagnaha. Kalpita meaning it only appears different. Whereas the reality is only Jna. And the your also reality also is only Jna. That is why Atma equal to Brahma. Because reality is same, but one appears different. That's all. One appears as many, one whereas you appear as one particular body, mind, sense. That's all. So both being kalpita, if you remove what is kalpita, what is imagined or superimposed, then Jna remains the Jna. That is Atma Jna equal to Brahma Jna or Sarva Jna. That is why the equation is possible. That is why the reality that you can say that by knowing self, I am free, I am complete, I have no more samsara. Because your reality is the reality of Ishvara. That is how it is. That is why it's Atmaiva Idam Sarvam. Sarvam generally is referred to Brahman or all knowledge. Whereas here it says Atmaiva Idam Sarvam. Your being is the Sarvam. Because Sarvam being Kalpitam. That's all. Yeah. The same 6.21, 6th chapter, whatever it talks about is, 6th chapter talks about Swetaketu is told by Uddalaka that did you ask from your teacher what is that understanding, knowing which everything else is as well known. He says no, teacher has not told, teacher doesn't know it. If he has known, he would have taught me. If he had taught me, I would have known. He is so arrogant that he knows everything, whatever the teacher has taught. He says the teacher himself may not know. Then Uddalaka chides him, you are not supposed to talk like that, you will not ask for it. Then he surrenders, saying that, please teach me. Then the whole 6th chapter, the 6th chapter, 6.2.1, he talks about, the whole 6th chapter explains how knowing one thing, knowing self, everything else is as well known. Like, it takes the example of Marutpinda, like knowing clay, the entire pottery world is known. Because the entire pottery world is nothing but clay. The same way, if you really, as I was telling the other day, that when you can you imagine a pot without imagining clay? Even my article I have shared with you. Imagining a pot, you cannot imagine without some substance. That means the substance is more real than pot. Pot is only a name. Likewise, clay is only a name. Likewise, if you extend, finally consciousness is only the reality. Everything else is name and form. So that is what is the meaning of that word. Ekena mritprindena sarvam mrinmayam. In the same way, by one knowing self, everything else is as well known because everything else is only name and form. That is what Vacharambano Vikaro Namadeyam. That is the Mritika Ityeva Satyam. That is the reality of that particular Chandogya Upanishad. It is an important prakarana in the whole Shastra. Even in Brahma Sutra, one full chapter, second chapter begins Tad Ananyatvam Arambana Sabdadibhyaha. It says, meaning Arambana Sabdadibhyaha meaning anything is only name and form. Tad Ananya, it is not, the reality is not separate from the reality of you and Ishvara being one and the same, nameless, formless, timeless, spaceless, aware being. Everything else is only name and form. That is how the Brahma Sutra concludes. For that, it takes recourse to Chandogya Upanishad. Because Brahma Sutra is nothing but analysis of the Upanishad word. Upanishad is a pramana. So in this Chandogya Upanishad, the 6th chapter is supposed to be a complete prakaranam because it tells you the complete understanding of Atmajnanam and Brahmajnanam. So that is why he is quoting it here. Yeah.
The whole world, sun, moon, stars, known and unknown, is not separate from you. What else can be said about you? You are everything, you are limitless, infinite, everything is you. And again, the Chandogya Upanishad says, Ekam eva advitiyam, one that is non-dual alone. That is Chandogya Upanishad 6.2.1.
Yeah, the same thing. That it says, Ekam eva advitiyam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi svetaketu. That's tattvamasi, the important Mahavakya also comes in the 6th chapter. What it says is, Ekena mritprindena sarvam mrinmayam Mritika ityeva satyam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi svetaketo. That is how it starts with Ekena mritprindena sarvam mrinmayam. Like even the pot world, entire pot world is made of only clay. There is only one satyam, everything else is only name and form. Starts like that. Ekena mritprindena sarvam mrinmayam. Mritika ityeva satyam. In the pot world, Mritika ityeva satyam. Tat satyam. Sad is sadeva satyam. Like even that, sad meaning that the being, Sat meaning isness, which we have discussed before. The isness is only reality. Sadeva Satyam. Tat Satyam Sa Atma. That is your reality. Tatvamasi Svetake. So that reality of Tat, that Brahman also is the same. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tatvamasi Svetake. That is the whole Vakya of that particular Ekameva Advitiyam. It comes like that. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tatvamasi Svetake. Ekameva Advitiyam. That is how it. Because there is no separateness between Atma and Brahman. That's what it means, yeah.
And knowing I am that Atma which is everything, there is freedom from any sense limitation and one is free. This is moksha. The same idea is also expressed negatively by the Shruti when it says, those who do not know this fact about Atma suffer a life of limitation. Atate Anyata ato viduhu anya rajanaha te chaya lokaha bhavanti. Those who look up upon themselves as other than Brahman are subject to experiences that perish. And
see, Chaya lokaha bhavanti. Chayam means that will perish. Okay, knowing anything else. He will, like even every other Rajanaha, they Shayaloka, they will all anyway lose. Whatever you gain, other than this being, everything else will come and go. It's all changing. Changing means it will perish. It will come to you, but it will go. Whatever be the, like even Anya Rajanaha, whatever be the wealth of the Raja also, it will perish. One day or other it will perish. So, except this, Anyata, unless this understanding is there, everything is supposed to perish. That's what it means. And even Narada also tells, even other knowledge, he says it doesn't help. Atmavit Sokam Tarati, he goes and tells Sanat Kumara, he tells what all he knows. He gives a big list of all Vedas, all the Upasanas, all rituals, everything I know, but still I am not very happy. Then Sanat Kumara tells him, you know everything but other than what you are supposed to know. Then he tells him, Atmavit Shokam Tarati. Once you know, understand yourself, that Shokam will go. That's what he explains to him, the 7th chapter. Chandogya, 7th chapter. That is what he mentioned, 7th chapter. 6th chapter you are told, 7th chapter, Bhuma Vidya. It's called Bhuma Vidya. Narada's Upadesa of Sanat Kumara to Narada. The key word in that is Atmavit Shokam Tarati.
When you describe moksha, bondage is very clear, even then it is spelled out. In English, we say it is expressed unequally. In clear terms, the Shastra says that the one who looks upon himself as other than Brahman into the hand of death, and one who understands that he is Brahman is free. This knowledge alone is a direct means for moksha.
One minute, I'll just have some water. Yeah.
Not meditation, karma, attitude or values, though all of them are indirectly helpful to gain a mind that can grasp this knowledge. It is like the fuel, vessels and so on that are needed for cooking, but all of them together cannot cook. For that you require fire. Similarly for liberation, the direct means is the knowledge, I am Brahman. Hence Shankara says, clear knowledge is the direct means for gaining liberation, not anything else.
In knowledge, preparedness is what accounts for whether that knowledge takes place. The equation 1 plus 1 equals 2 is impossible for an infant to understand because he is not yet prepared. For the knowledge I am Brahman to sink in, the required preparation is certain maturity or assimilation of the experiences of life. Therefore, Krishna says here, Arjuna te Anasuyave idam pravakshyami. Arjuna, unto you, who is free from asuya, I will tell you this clearly.
See, very important. Swamiji always used to say, only relative tranquility will only make you understand that absolute tranquility is your nature. That is, you must be relatively peaceful in life. Then you will have a value for peace. And you will, when this understanding tells you are peace per se, personified, you will be able to own up and claim it. Otherwise, you don't have a taste for peace and you don't have a taste for tranquility, sitting quietly. That is what meditation and even a lifestyle where you like to be happy with yourself, be with yourself, just be. So whenever you get time, just be. That sort of a value if you develop, then when the Shastra explains and you understand, then you will be able to claim it. Otherwise, your lifestyle is totally in contrast with what is being talked about. You will never be able to claim it. You will look at it as something academic, that's all. That is what he means. That is the whole preparation is to, you must be able, when the knowledge I am Brahman to sink in, when it is really, so when you are able to cognitively by the Shastra, by the Gita, when you understand it, at the time when you understand, you must be ready for it. You must be able to ready to claim it. Yeah, this is what I look for in life. That sort of that is a preparation. Entire preparation or lifestyle and karma, upasana, prayerful living, meditative living, meditation, everything is only to prepare the mind so that when the knowledge happens, it sinks in. Just own it up. You don't resist. You should not resist that. The fact is told. That is what the preparation is all about. Yeah.
The word asuya has no real equivalent in English. The definition of this word in Sanskrit is guneshu dosha darshanam, seeing a defect where there are virtues. Saying of a great man that he is lame is asuya. It is an expression of not being able to accept good qualities or accomplishments in others. This is one of the worst problems a person can have. Karna referred to footnote 11 in volume 1, page 101.
Yeah.
A man of great virtues had this problem. Even though he had all the princely qualities, because he thought he was the son of a driver, he suffered from a complex that expressed itself as asuya.
Yeah, I have explained at that time, Swamiji has told, because even though here he was son of a driver, because he never could own it up. Because by genes, he was actually a prince. Okay, so instinctively, genetically, he knows that he is a prince. So he can never own up that he was the son of a driver. So that is why he was not able to appreciate the good qualities in others. Because his own goodness, even though he is a good person, he was not able to own it up because he was harboring that I am a prince, but I am being treated as a son of a or something like that. So that is what the unconscious. It is called the kashayam in Shastra. The unconscious will prevent you from owning up something good also. If you have the unconscious, the hurt and guilt driving you, which you got it very early in life because of without your knowledge. Even though at that time it has helped you, in the sense that hurt and guilt was troubling you, you will not be able to progress in life. So Bhagavan has given us a apohanam, that is forgetting. For the time being you have forgotten. It goes and sits back in your unconscious, at the back of your mind, the recesses of your mind. That's what psychology says. So it will be remaining there. Later, when you grow up, when you become confident in life, when you are trustworthy, when you have got trusted people around you, at that time, that hurt and guilt will come back and you will start hurting people. At that time, either you have to recognize it's all because of my past, I should not allow it to confuse my reality today. Okay, whatever has happened, Bhagavan, please take care of it like that. You must be able to process, or you must have a considerate partner or a guru or a friend in whom you confide, or even a psychotherapist who tells, yeah, maybe it's all because of the past, don't worry, whatever has happened. Please surrender everything to Goswami and move on in life. Don't harbor that. That sort of as therapy is required. That is what If that doesn't happen, that complex remains. Then you have that asuya buddhi. Asuya meaning you can't appreciate anything good in anybody else. That sort of a thing can happen. That's what he means, yeah.
Arjuna had no such complex and therefore no such problem. So he is called Anasuya. Wherever there was some good quality, he recognized it, giving the qualified person his due. He accepted the person without Asuya. Absence of Asuya represents all other qualities which Bhagavan is going to talk about in the 12th and 13th chapters: Advesha, Amanitva, Adhambitva, Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjava, and so on. All are implied by this one word, Anasuya, and they qualify Arjuna for this knowledge. This knowledge is the greatest secret. About this knowledge, Bhagavan says further that it is Guhyatama, the greatest secret. Guhya means secret, and the affix Tama added to it makes it the superlative, the greatest secret. Why is it the greatest secret? There are various reasons. The fact about it is that no matter how many times you may teach, rarely does anyone understand. It remains a secret in spite of being revealed. And even if it is understood, there are certain things that inhibit the assimilation of the knowledge. Therefore, it is Guhyatama, the greatest secret. The preparedness for it is the greatest thing you can accomplish in life. You require maturity, which does not come by itself. You have to work on it. That is why it has been said that you need not protect Vedanta. It guards itself like the formula on relativity E equals mc squared. You can write it down 100 times and yet not understand what it means. You need to reach a point from where you can understand, and this requires a lot of preparation. Therefore, this knowledge is Guhyatama. It is outside the known means of knowledge. Another reason it is the most secret is that it is not something that can be gained by the known means of knowledge like perception, inference, or by your experience. There are two types of perceptions: Indriya Pratyaksha, perception by the sense organs, and Sakshi Pratyaksha, witness perception, which is a direct perception of the mind, by the mind. Seeing the printed word on the page is Indriya Pratyaksha, perception through a sense organ. The conditions of your mind like Sukha, Dukkha are known by you as a Sakshi, witness. That witnesses everything is Brahman is not a perception of either of the above, not Pratyaksha. It is not an object of experience, that is perception through a sense organ or a perception directly by the mind. Nor is it a matter for inference. Therefore, there is no way of knowing I am Brahman unless you have another pramana, means of knowledge. And that pramana by which this knowledge is gained is Shabda, the words of the Shastra. Because it is not available for any known pramana, and because it is only through the teaching that you can gain this knowledge, it is Guhyatama. It is the most valuable. Another thing
all this we have discussed, the whole thing, the para, we have discussed it before also. Yeah.
But one thing, Swamiji, he says experience, the conditions, one minute, it is not an object of experience, he says, but
yeah, see, experience, what he means is that you are going through a sense of Sukha or Dukkha. That is the experience he is talking about. The Sukha experience, you gain it time and again, but you don't know how to interpret it. You think it is because of this and that. Actually, it is your Sukha Swarupam that is temporarily not getting disturbed by something you wanted to gain, and you gained it. So, you wanted something and you gained it. So, temporarily that you wanted something, that thought is away from you. So, you don't lack anything for that moment. So, at that moment, what is happening is actually you are in yourself, your Sukha Swarupa. But you think that because you gained that object, you got the Sukha. So, experience, Swamiji used to say, experience is dumb. It doesn't, unless you want to learn from it, you no experience will have. Because life is nothing but experience. But you have not learnt it. Every sukha we relate to some other object.
Yes, yes.
Atmanastu kamaya, which I have told before also. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi. Husband is happy not because of wife. Because temporarily in the presence of wife he is not disturbed. So he is undisturbed, pleased self is his reality. That is what this is Sukham. Not because. The same thing applies to everything else in life also. So that is how he teaches the whole thing. So Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So the self is the reality. There is only Sukha Swarupam. That understanding does not come from experience unless you are willing to learn from it. So experience does not teach unless you are willing to learn from it. That's what he means. Yeah.
It is the most valuable. Another thing that makes it the greatest of secrets is its worth. What is sacred or precious is always a secret. You cannot keep a large emerald as a table weight. It will disappear in no time. Anything that is precious or rare is kept secret. So, saying that it is the most secret is saying that it is the most precious. Jnanam vijnana sahitam te pravakshyami. This knowledge I am going to give you, which is the knowledge of Brahman as yourself, is also vijnana sahita. I am not simply going to state that there is Brahman. I am going to prove that you are Brahman. That is what is meant by the statement vijnana sahita. I will bring to you an immediate appreciation of this knowledge as yourself. You may ask, what will I gain from it? Suppose I tell you a secret like the crows have no teeth. What do you get out of it? When I say you are Brahman, you can say, if I am Brahman, let it be so. What difference does it make to me? The fact is, knowing that you are Brahman, you are everything, you will be free from all things that are inauspicious. Moksha se ashubhat.
Yeah, that is there in the verse. Moksha se ashubhat. Ashubhat means what is irreverence, inauspicious, you will be free from. Yeah.
You will be free from Ashubha, what is not auspicious, not desirable. You will be released from sorrow, from inadequacy, smallness, and from the bondage of the self. In short, from samsara. You will be free from a life of becoming.
Here, what is the word meaning samsara is samsaritvam. It is not samsara will still remain. So, samsara means samyak sarati. What comes and goes. That coming and going will keep happening. That is not going to stop. But that I am a samsari, that feeling will go away. That is what he means by name. In short, from samsara means samsaritvam. You will not associate yourselves that I am a samsari. Instead, you will say I am free. That is the difference. Yeah.
Shubha means something that is ultimately good. It is often written at the end of a letter or book to indicate an auspicious conclusion. Ashubha means it is not an auspicious end. When a person dies and is released from the body, although the end takes place, it is not auspicious because it begins again. That is samsara, and from which you will be liberated, moksha se. Ashubha can also mean doubt. Then the meaning of these words will be, you will be released from doubt. Verse 2. Bhagavan praises this knowledge to draw the attention of Arjuna. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Sasukham Kartum Avyayam.
Susukam Kartum Avyayam.
Susukam Kartum Avyayam.
Double Sukam. That's what comes here.
Is Raja Vidya, the king of all knowledge. Raja Guhyam, the king of secrets. Pavitram Uttamam is the greatest purifier. Pratyaksha Avagamam, directly appreciated. Dharmyam, in keeping with Dharma. Susukam, easy to accomplish. Avyayam, imperishable. This is the king of all knowledge, the king of secrets, the greatest purifier, directly appreciated, not opposed to Dharma, easy to accomplish, and imperishable. The jnana, knowledge that was spoken of in the first verse is called Vidya here. The roots of both words have the same meaning, to know. This knowledge that liberates you from samsara is necessarily different from any other type of knowledge and is therefore called Raja Vidya, the king among all disciplines of knowledge. It's Raja Vidya because it is self-shining. As in a kingdom, among the many inhabitants, the one who is the Raja, the king, is the final authority. Similarly here, this knowledge is the king among the various disciplines of knowledge. Shankara gives the meaning of the word drawn from its root Raj, which means to shine. So Raja is the one who shines by himself, who does not depend upon anything else. Among the people in the kingdom, the king is glorious, great in his own right. Similarly, Atma is the only one who is self-effulgent. Knowledge of this self-shining self is the king of all knowledge, because all other forms of knowledge depend upon this Atma, the illuminating factor. Every other piece of knowledge is revealed by your buddhi, but this one is self-revealing, Swayam Rajate, it shines of its own accord.
Yeah, even the buddhi is revealed by this illuminating factor Atma. Buddhi shines because of Atma. Everything else shines by the buddhi. But buddhi itself shines because of the Atma.
Asham, you will continue?
Yeah, okay. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Atma Vidya resolves all divisions. All other forms of knowledge perpetuate the Jnatar, Jnana, Jnaya, Veda.
Jnatra, Jnana, Nyaya, Veda. Jnatra is nothing but Jnata. Jnata, it is, word is Jnatra. Yeah. Jnatra, Jnana, Nyaya, Veda. Yeah.
Jnatra, Jnana, Nyaya, Veda. The division of the knower knowledge. What is the footnote we have there?
Yeah, it is a footword. Here the word Jnana, knowledge, refers to the instrument of knowledge, by which you know, is also called Jnanam. It is will explain later, in the sense, all like typical, the book of physics is by the physics, knowing physics, you know, come to know the subject matter of physics. So the physics is an instrument, the book is only an instrument. Here also Jnana is only an instrument, yeah.
And object of knowledge. They confirm the notion of division that makes you experience yourself as limited. This Jnatra, Jnana, Nyaya, Veda division accounts for all differences. It is not really the difference that we are concerned about here, the division. Knowing that there are these differences is not a problem. But the sense of division creates self-inflicted limitations. When you say that Jnata, the knower, is other than the Nyaya, the known, then one limits the other. Thus, the division causes a sense of limitation in the knower. It is because what you are not, that is, the entire world, is overwhelmingly big, whereas you are small and insignificant. As we have seen, all Vedas division.
Swamiji can explain that. But when you say Jnata, the division causes a sense of limitation in the knower. It is because what you are not.
Basically, the very fact, you cannot digest anything that is not known to you. Then the very fact there is something to be known, that itself creates a sense of limitation in you. So, the whole perception of our knowledge is, there is a knower, there is an instrument by which I know, and there is a something to be known. So that division, that for example, there is a table, there is a chair and all that, okay, that does not make me small, because they are, the sense, they are, even though they are different, they are not creating a division in me, whereas something which I want to know, and by not knowing I feel small, that makes me feel, so that there are things other than me. And that is why that Sarvajnam that I was telling you, that Sarvam Kalpitam, imagined, it is all only name, Namni, Namani, it's all just name and form. It is not, once the clay knows that every other pot or what you call jug or saucer, everything is nothing but me. Once it understands, it will not look at the saucer, the pot and the kodam and all that as different. The difference is not the issue, but they are other than me, so I have to know them. That creates the division. So the very fact that known knowledge difference is, it is not the difference that is the problem, that it is other than me. Without knowing, I am incomplete. That sort of a division alone makes life incomplete. That is why, and you know, the more you know, more you come to know what you don't know. So more and more you feel insecure. So that is the division, not the difference. The division is a problem. The division it creates in between the knower, known knowledge, that creates a problem. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
Thus, the division causes a sense of limitation in the knower. It is because what you are not, that is, the entire world is overwhelmingly big, whereas you are small and insignificant. As we have seen, all Vedas, divisions fall under three categories. They are Vijatiya Veda, the division between species, Sajatiya Veda, the division within a given group, and Swagata Veda, the division within a member of a given group. Once you say things are divided, you become one among the divided. Swamiji, this Swagata Veda means individual person, right? A member of...
Swagata Veda meaning, for example, in your own body, there is hands are there, legs are there, lungs are there, heart is there. So there are different avayavas are there in a single body. The body is one, but within that there are divisions. That is called Swagata. The same way, in a particular, family, there are sons and daughters and mother, father. So the family is one. But within that there is division. Likewise, community, there are a group of people. Even though that group is one, Sajatiya, the species, like even the flower. There is a typical example is, Swamiji used to say, lily is a flower. There can be red lily, blue lily and all that. So Sajatiya Veda is between blue lily and rose, there is a Jatiya Veda. Because lily is different from rose. So Vijatiya Veda meaning within the Sajatiya Veda meaning within the lily itself, red lily, blue lily, they are separate. And within lily also there is a stamen, there is a fragrance, everything is separate. So this is Swagata Veda. Swagata Veda, then blue lily, blue fragrant lily, big lily, small lily, all are Sajatiya Veda. And Vijatiya Veda is lily is different from rose, that is Vijatiya Veda. And Swagata Veda is within the flower itself, there are differences. That is the three types of difference.
You see, things are divided, you become one among the divided. Distinct entity qualified by a few attributes, living in and transacting business in the world other than yourself. You find you are a limited individual with your own problems legitimate. You become a mortal, limited in terms of sex, age, color, race, and other attributes. All of these are brought about by the original division, that of Jnata, Jnana and Jnaya. This division is not ordinary, it creates samsara. It is the villain of the drama called Swamiji. There you had very cold climate and here it is hot climate, no? That's why I think you've got...
There's a lot of changes. There also there was rain suddenly, and when I landed at Madras there was heavy raining, and then here it is hot. So within 3 days I went through so much of changes, yeah.
You went by train, right? Everywhere train you went?
No, that is Madras, there are no flight. From Madras to here, train.
Swamiji, you have Panangalkandu there, Panangalkandu.
I will have that, yeah.
எப்பவுமே அடக்கி வச்சிருந்தாலே கொஞ்சம் குறையும் சொல்லுங்க.
Oh yes, I will do that, yeah.
It exists in every other vidya, even in psychology. If you examine your own psychology, even though it is your psychology, you begin with a symptom which you attempt to trace to its roots. The connection is inferred based on a pattern that emerges from the study of the behavior and background of many people. That pattern becomes the basis for further deduction and you make a conclusion. This inferred piece of knowledge implies a jnata, knower, who has jnana because of jnaya, something known. Even though psychology seems very much connected to you, it is still a discipline of knowledge which only confirms samsara. Any knowledge is true to its object. The knowledge of the crystal is as true as the crystal in the sense all the properties of the crystal are contained in your knowledge of the crystal. But in knowing a crystal, you are the knower of it and different from the crystal. The self, however, is not a known object. The object of the self is the self that knows. So, the knower of the self and the object are one. Once this is known, ignorance is removed, and the vritti that removes the ignorance goes away, leaving the phala. The resolution of the jnatra, jnana, jnaya, veda, the division of knower, knowledge, known. When these are destroyed, all other differences are also destroyed. You see that every piece of knowledge is nothing but you. Every object of knowledge is non-separate from you, and the knower, of course, is non-separate from you. All three of them depend entirely upon the self, consciousness as such. How is it so? Jnata, the knower, is a Chaitanya Atma, conscious being, reference to something known. The knowledge, the vritti.
The vritti is the instrument of knowledge.
And the word jnana is the
Tripputi, jnana.
Jnana and jnaya refers to this.
Yeah. See, I have discussed it before also. The vritti, the Atma, Chaitanya Atma is you. And when you see something, what happens? Your consciousness pervades that object. Okay, there is that oneness between you and the object you see. That is called pratyaya. That forms an image in your screen, mind screen. There it comes with some baggage in terms of if you have recognized it earlier, it will be a name, it will be a form and all that. So the vritti gets distorted to something from your memory and all that. So it becomes different from you. The being, which was the original pratyaya, if that is where it all stops, then the whole world you know, because everything you see is what is you only, because it is pervaded by you. Consciousness pervades everything. It is immanent. It is completely pervading what all you know. The moment you know means it pervades, your consciousness pervades. But thereafter the distortion happens in the sense you bring from your memory and or you have some other knowledge and juxtapose on it, superimpose on it and say this is this, this is that and all that, then it becomes a known object that is different from you, which was the original pratyaya. From there it becomes different, then it creates the division. That is what he means. Whereas the reality is, there is only one being, there is only one knowledge, that is Chaitanya Atma. Everything else is from, it is from memory, from the lack of understanding that there is only oneness in the whole creation. There is only one being, Satchitananda. That is the only thing that is reality. Everything else is only name and form. That we don't know. Since the time we don't know, there is a division between the known, knower and what is knowledge. That is what he is mentioning here. Yeah.
Swamiji, before you had sent pratyaya, avisheshataya, sama.
Exactly, same thing. So that is what it is. Nirvishesha is the reality. Vishesha is coming from external source, from our samskara and all that. Because we juxtapose what am I with Nirvishesha, with Vishesha, and we identify ourselves with the Vishesha, we feel threatened. Which is not the reality. That's what the whole various ways we can look at it. Nirvishesha, Chaitanya Atma. Here he says Chaitanya Atma. It is Nirvishesha. He has not mentioned it here, but that is the reality. But once you impute a Vishesha by name and form and all that, that is generally called empirical knowledge. with which we do Vyavahara, that is fine, you can do Vyavahara with it. But you cannot say that that is Satyam, that is only empirical. In fact, you call it empirical means it is only meant for Vyavahara. It is not the reality. Reality is only you, the being and the Chaitanyam and Satchit Ananda Swarup. That's what he means here. Yeah.
Vritti is also nothing but Chaitanya Atma. And the object of knowledge is not separate from Chaitanya Atma. If you say the object is outside, Sach, Chit, Ananda Atma, how is it outside? If you consider the world from the Sat, Amsha, the existence aspect, there is nothing away from it. All that exists in this world has its being in Sat, which happens to be Atma. From the knowledge aspect, there is no piece of knowledge that is separate from consciousness, the very nature of the subject Atma. The knowledge of the self implies all these. Aham, Ekam, Advitiyam Brahma. I alone am everything. One, non-dual Brahman, knower, known knowledge, the cause of the whole creation, and at the same time, the Jagat Karana. This is Atma Vidya. Definitely it is Raja Vidya, the king among all forms of knowledge, while every other Vidya maintains divisions.
This many times, many examples have been given, like gold. Once you know all ornaments in the whole jewellery shop, nothing but gold. Gold is the reality, everything else is only name and form. So you will not feel threatened by the different names and form, bangles, rings, all those things. If you know everything is gold. In the same way, water is the only reality between ocean, wave, rivers and all that. So once you know, once the wave knows that it is water, it will not feel threatened that it doesn't know about a breaker, doesn't know about a surf, doesn't know about an ocean, all. It will not feel threatened because he knows per se it's all only water. In the same way, once you know Atma is the only reality, the unchanging, changeless is the reality. Because of that, change is possible. Because of Nirvishesha, changes are possible, and changes are only my glory. They are not really threatening me because the reality of the changes is only changeless. So from the changeless is a reality. The changing is a different level of reality. You cannot compare one level of reality with another level of reality, which you have explained. You cannot compare what is happening in the dream, the waking. Because dream is, so many things are happening, but once you wake up, we know the whole thing is nothing but one light of consciousness that was there in the dream. In the same way, in the waking also, we have to wake up to this reality. There is only one Atma, and everything else is happening like a dream, like Vyavahara, empirical reality keeps changing. That will keep changing. Just deal with it as it is to be done. Swakale Satyavad Bharati. Just do what is appropriate in given situation. Because your reality is something para, it's not apara. Apara is changing, para is your reality that is changeless. So from the changeless, when you look at the whole apara prakriti changing, you will deal with it as appropriate. You will not try to corners others well. You will not feel jealous, you will not feel asuya. You will do whatever you need to be done, that's all. Given the circumstances, whatever I have to do. Because my reality is complete. That understanding will be there. That is what he means. That is the Raja Vidya we are talking about. Yeah.
Shall we stop? Yes.
Yes. King among all forms of knowledge.
Yeah, where we stop? Where you want to stop?
We have to start from going one step further tomorrow.
Start. Okay. From there we'll start.
Next week.
Yeah. Going one step to one day after.
2nd October, Gandhi Jayanti.
Yeah, we can have a class. I have no problem.
Discuss with parents also and let you know something.
Yeah. Let me know. Send a message. Yeah.
Yeah.